Mhm. Hello, and thank you for watching the Applying for the NYSPEP Parenting Educator Credential webinar. This webinar will walk you through the different areas of the Parenting Educator Credential application. My name is Jen Howland, and I am the Parenting Education Credential Coordinator. Joining us today is Karen Sweeney as our presenter. Karen is self-employed at Karen Sweeney and Associates, currently teaching Parenting with a Heart, a trauma-informed class, and Flip It parenting classes in Chemung County. Karen is a volunteer teaching a boundaries class at Potter's Hands, a safe house for women who have been sex trafficked. She has 26 years as the director of the Jeannie Moss Family Resource Center in Addison, New York. She is also a Tier 3 senior parenting educator through New York State Parenting Education Partnership. She is Tier 2 TEPE trained parenting educator, the Judy Nordstrom's Training Institute, a Family Support Network Standards of Quality trainer, National Alliance Protective Factors Framework trainer, Family Development Credentialing instructor. She is also trained in Choice Theory, Flip It, Incredible Years, Nurturing Parenting, Parenting with a Heart, Protective Factors Frameworks and Standards of Quality, 0 to 3 National Center for Infants, Toddlers, and Families, Prevent Child Abuse and Neglect Curriculum, Train the Trainers, and Cradling Literacy. She is also part of the NYSPEP Parenting Education Credential Review Panel and Professional Development Committee. She is trained in OCFS toolkits, coaching family visits, and locating and engaging fathers, National Parenting Education Network Council member, and has been married to Mark for 49 years, mother of 2 awesome adult children, and grandmother of two even more awesome grandchildren. And so for today, we're going to go over what NYSPEP is the New York State Parenting Education Partnership. It is a public and private New York State agencies collaborating on statewide cross-systems initiative designed to ensure all children grow up in nurturing families by enhancing parents and caregivers' knowledge, skills, and behavior. NYSPEP informs and supports close to 1,500 practitioners, program managers, researchers, and policymakers to promote, provide, and improve evidence-based parenting education. Organizational projects include Strong Roots Training, the NYSPEP Parenting Educator Credential, building community coalitions, supporting community cafes, and professional development opportunities for parenting educators. You can connect with NYSPEP and by finding us on Facebook at NYS Parenting Education Partnership, emailing myself, the credential coordinator, at credential@nyspep.org, and becoming a member at the nyspep.org website. It's free and all are welcome to join regardless of the occupation. And now we will turn this over to Karen.
Thank you so much, Jen. I'm just so excited that we have been able to launch this webinar along with a lot of other webinars that will help you to apply for this credential. It is a large piece of work, and so we're going to try to break this down into very simple pieces so that it's much more manageable. There is a sense when you first look at the application that it can be overwhelming. Just take a deep breath and follow along in the webinar, and that'll help to ease some of your anxiety and really equip you to move forward in your application. So let me start it off with the slide. What we've got is the application components, which is the professional work statement. And then we've got the personal philosophy of parenting education statement, the ethical practice competency statement, and the competency documentation worksheet, and also reference letters. So let's take a look at the professional work statement. What you want to do is that you want to identify what it is that brought you into this field. So, and then also what is the focus of your work with parents and families. So oftentimes when I will mentor individuals, I'll just have them tell me about themselves and what brought them into the field and what excites them about this work. And that's your professional work statement right there. So then we move on to the professional philosophy. And writing your professional philosophy statement includes your values and your beliefs about the process, the content, and the purpose of parenting education, and what informs your commitment to parents and children. Then we move on to the next piece of it. This is a large piece of the application. This is the parenting educator competencies, taking a look at it's a very extensive, very comprehensive list. So when you get done with this application, you will take a deep breath and say, wow, there's a lot. There's a lot that I know, and there's a lot of which I bring into this profession as a parenting educator. So again, this is your time to really shine and to really say, you know what, I really know what I'm doing. So it's pretty exciting. We move on to the ethical practice competency statement. And then we've got, tell us how you would deal with an ethical dilemma in working with families. This seems to be a bit of a difficult area of the work. And what we've done, because we've really taken your feedback in applying for this credential, and what we've done is that we've created another webinar for you to be able to go and check out and to walk you through what an ethical dilemma is, what ethical practice is. And so again, we've tried to eliminate a lot of the areas where people in the past have really struggled. So you're applying for the credential at a really awesome time, because we've really worked through a lot of the areas of challenges for people. So this is the competency worksheet. And as you can see, it's broken down into subcategories. And then in those subcategories, in the next slide, you'll see what's in that. Completing your worksheet is taking a look. So with each competency, there are sub-competencies, A, B, and C, 1A, 1B. And what you do with that is that you indicate your education and your experience in that area. So it really helps you when you are ready to do the actual statement, then you'll draw from all of that information that you've already attained, so that you can answer the competency statement and do a really good job with that. It doesn't have to be long and extensive. We also, one of the other pieces that we have identified as to be helpful for those that are applying is to fill out an Aspire record and a training list, and that will help you to also identify very quickly after you've done that work and downloaded all of your trainings. That will help you to fall back on, like, oh yeah, this is where I've gotten this kind of information, this kind of knowledge, this kind of education, and answering the competency statements. And that, again, we have created a webinar for you to fill out the Aspire, because that can sometimes be intimidating for people too. A lot of people that are in this field have already filled out an Aspire profile. But if you have not, then stay tuned, because we do have a training or a webinar for that as well. So please note that you may have items that correspond to multiple areas of the competencies. Different competencies will, they overlap as far as the training that you've received. It could be a training, it could be a workshop that you attended, it could be a book that you have read. So know that you can enter those kind of things. It may not be appropriate for the Aspire profile, but it may very well be appropriate for the subcategories that as you're working through the competency worksheet. It could be volunteer work that you've done in the past. So include all of that. We are a composite of all of those things that we've experienced in our life. And this is a time for you to reflect back. Obviously, I mean, I've been around this for a long time, so I've acquired a lot of trainings along the way, and it all comes together. And this is, again, your time to shine and to inform us on what you know, and how excited you are to be a parenting educator. So writing your competency statements. So write a paragraph describing your understanding of the skill, your experience with the philosophy regarding this competency. And this can be, applied to your work as a parenting educator. It could be an actual professional anecdote. So lots of times people would rather explain through an example that they've used in how they've expressed and taught the competency to, an individual, if you're a parenting educator that is working one-on-one with individuals, or in a group setting. So don't be intimidated by, just following the format of, like, oh, I haven't done this kind of work with an individual. You'd be surprised as you move through this this application, you're going to recognize different areas that you have already displayed in the work that you've done. So it could be, it could be the way that you communicate. And we respect all forms of communication, whether it be an example or whether it be your knowledge base. So then we move on to letters of recommendation. So take a look at how other people view you. So you would want to ask a supervisor. You would want to ask a parent with whom you have worked. So obviously the most present supervisor that you have, or the most recent parent that you've had working with you, but don't have that limit you. Everybody comes into this field in different ways. So in my case, I don't have a supervisor because I'm self-employed. So I would ask a mentor that could speak to my knowledge, and someone that I have worked with in the past or worked for in the past. So, and then parents, that would be easier for me, obviously, because I'm actively working with parents in a group setting. So we also have an opportunity to support you. I have mentored different individuals that have really kind of had a tough time just getting started and just having some questions and feeling a bit anxious about different pieces of the application. And reach out to Jen at credential@NYSPEP.org, and she will get you set up with a mentor, whether it be me, there's another individual, Mega Kappas, that has mentored, and we're always looking for additional mentors to do this work. But that's basically just offering that helping hand and dispelling any kind of anxiety that you may have. So please don't hesitate to take advantage of that. We also have the Aspire, as I mentioned before, an Aspire webinar, which is going to be held quarterly. And again, reach out to Jen at credential@NYSPEP.org for more information in that regard. So the application review process, what we have in place is that you submit your application, and we have 3 individuals that have been credentialed in the past, and they have expressed a desire to be on the review team. And so we meet and virtually, through much like what we're doing now. And we have a rubric that Jefferson County Cooperative Extension and Jen's team and others have put together a rubric for us to follow that are on the review panel. So it's a very objective way of looking at the application. And we discuss making sure that we understand everything that has been communicated through the philosophy statement, the work statement. But in particular, the rubric is extremely helpful for us that are reviewing the application to look at the competency statements to make sure that everything is in place. And so it's always good to have, 3 individuals come from a different background in teaching parenting, and getting some clarification and understanding. We always work from a strength-based approach to working with individuals. And if there's any kind of questions at all, we will follow up with Jen and asking her to follow up with you and getting some clarification. So there's 2 things that can happen. One is that the credential is awarded, or it can be that application is going to be awarded pending more information in a certain area. And don't be intimidated by that, because that happens a lot of times. So don't be anxious, just dive in and really enjoy the journey is what I tell everybody, because it's a wonderful experience, validating the work that you have done. And whether you're new to the field and you've only worked for a couple of years, or you've been in the field for a long time. So it's an incredible validation of the work that you do. And we're always trying to elevate the profession of parenting education. Okay, I'm going to hand this back over to Jen, because she's all about the application deadlines. And so thank you very much for attending. And again, if there's any questions that you have, whether it be about the application, please reach out to Jen, and she will direct it to whoever it needs to be directed to. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Karen. When NYSPEP first started, we did have 2 application deadlines. We have now increased that to 4. So it will be July 31st, October 31st, January 31st, and April 30th are the application deadlines. Do not get flustered. Do not feel stressed out. Do not feel that you get the application and you have to do the next one that's right there. Take your time, enjoy the journey, like Karen says, and we will help you along the way, and see where you will fall in for a deadline. It's not a hard set deadline. If you again have any questions about your application, you can visit NYSPEP.org. You can contact me at credential@NYSPEP.org. And you can also watch the application webinar, that the ethics webinar and the Aspire webinar and the orientation one. Those will all be posted online at nyspep.org, except for the Aspire. Those are provided live quarterly. We cannot post them on our website. And then we want to thank you for joining us. The work of NYSPEP is made possible by Cornell Cooperative Extension of Jefferson County as the lead on the statewide project with funding by New York State Office of Mental Health and New York State Office of Child and Family Services. So with that, if you need any further clarification or you have any questions, please reach out and contact me, or the other webinars will be posted shortly. Have a great day.